choose between right and wrong.
Right and wrong? But how will I know?
Your conscience will tell you.
What are conscience?
A conscience is that still, small voice that people won't listen to.
Are you my conscience?
Who, me?
Would you like to be Pinocchio's conscience? Very well. Kneel, Mr. Cricket. I dub you Pinocchio's conscience. Lord High Keeper of the knowledge of right and wrong, counselor in moments of temptation, and guide along the straight and narrow path. Arise.
Seven, six, five, four, 1 3/4. Yes!
I'm Phil Schneider. I spent 17 years in black budget programs. I'm government geologist, as engineer, structural engineer with aerospace applications, self-taught metallurgist. In working with the black projects, I was involved in something very controversial, almost totally unbelievable to most of you. I was involved in building another base inside of Dulce, New Mexico, which is Los Alamos Laboratory. On the southwest part of the Archuleta Mesa, we were in the process of the early stages of building. We drilled 4 large tunnel-like holes. Some of them ran 2.5 miles under the surface. Anyway, after we drilled all 4 holes, it took about 2 days to drill all 4 of them. And when you build an underground base, you drill 4 basic holes, and then you build called stopes or cross-member holes across, and you use blasting equipment, and you literally blast out or tunnel out or deflagrate or melt rock out. The equipment kept coming up broken. I carried a little Walther PPK pistol with a 9-shot clip. But you're in almost like a spacesuit environment, and you're reaching for a gun. It's not the easiest thing to do, and then to pop a clip in it and start shooting. And I've killed 2 of them. Yes, they're mortal, and they do die. However, in the process, one of them did this. All I remember is that he just kind of waved his hand in front of his chest, and the next thing I know, this blue beam hit me and just literally opened me up like a fish. It was some form of electrical force, because the kind of like being hit by a lightning bolt burned all my toenails off of me. And there was a Green Beret that was right behind me. He risked his life. He shoved me back in the dash and hit the button and took me up. And I wouldn't be alive talking to you today. Worked for him. I'm forever indebted. There's a war underneath there, and I'm talking dead serious. Albelica has probably explained, or maybe even shown you this picture. There's a list of some of the notable people in it. They're all the atomic bomb scientists of the day, all the time variant experimentalists of the day, all the top physicists of that particular day. This was in August of 1943.
Phil Schneider gave most of his lectures in 1995.
My friend Ronald Lee Rummel was an Air Force officer. He's a Silver Star winner. There's a good chance that when I fly back to Vegas, I have to drive home. I left my car down in Vegas. I have to drive home alone. I'm scared to hell.
I was seeing some of the ones, and there's a few other people that have been to a few of my other lectures, and they can attest that I have been shot. I've been run off the road. I've been pushed off the road.
Transcripts of interviews with a person only known as Colonel X, who supposedly worked inside this facility and is known to believe that Phil Schneider was really there.
Believe that? Yeah. Well, a whole bunch of people seen it,
The ground opening up, steam coming out of it.
It was huge. I just saw the bottom of it. It was like flat like this.
Right in the middle and kind of like rounded on the sides. You're speechless,
A good example that was very much publicly known and discussed. There are other underground research facilities, including at Area 51 and elsewhere, that operate much more out of the public eye. There are many rumors about clandestine both underground and undersea, and a growing number of people have come forward over the years with anecdotal accounts of having seen and or been taken into such facilities by a variety of shadowy elements of the United States military, by clandestine units. I do take these stories seriously. I do believe that these types of facilities exist. What are the reasons that they would be here and underground? Again, for secrecy, for security, and for purposes of communication, command, and control. The same reasons that the United States military builds underground bases.
Secrecy, how corporations and military rule the underworld.
I spent years going through themes of technical documentation from the military-industrial complex, and Morrison-Knudsen is one of those that would pop up in the bibliographies. Companies like Parsons, McGraw, Frederick Douglass, Hewitt, Black & Vetch. Of course, you have the two military agencies, the Army Corps of Engineers, which is definitely involved in constructing underground bases and tunnels. It has been for more than half a century. You also have the U.S. Navy Seabees, who also work in underground and undersea construction. So those would be the lead, two of the lead military agencies, but there are large corporations that are involved. The Bechtel Corporation is one. Then you have the tunnel boring machine companies such as the Robbins Company. A number of these companies, which for decades have worked very closely with not only the United States military agencies, but also other agencies in construction of underground facilities and tunnels. These are massive undertakings, and to do that, you need to have large organizations with a bureaucratic and administrative structure that's capable of supporting projects like this. You won't easily find this stuff on the internet. I found these documents by going to federal document repositories at major university libraries in the United States, and also to federal agency document repositories. With these corporations, it's like a shell game, and it's harder and harder to find out who is working for whom and what they're doing and under what conditions. It makes it hard to follow what they're doing and to follow the money and the contracts, because the names in the corporate alliances are constantly changing at a state of flux at a very high level.
Now, these mega bases are gobbling up our gross national product. Right now, we're spending 28% of the gross national product on building underground bases solely. That doesn't count for the defense budget. That doesn't count for the spare parts budget. And the black budget is dead wrong. It sidesteps the United States Congress and its constitution of its people and says, you're a bunch of morons, you don't need to know. Now, all this alien thing is fine, except for one thing. Kept totally out of the public view, off the surface, I'm sure the underground bases, without question, are being used as a place to have implementation of a one-world government. Direct opposite of constitutional law. Direct opposite of freedom of choice, freedom of religion, other freedoms that go with it. Right to bear arms.
Phil is a guy where we can actually prove his work history, so that adds some credibility that is kind of rare with these type of people. Deep underground military bases, extraterrestrials living beneath Earth's surface, a race that might not even be from another planet, but rather one that has existed here, in the shadows, throughout mankind's entire development. Is this the biggest cover-up in our history?
I'm not asking you to believe me in total. I am asking you to seriously do enough homework that you can go out in through the public record, through the congressional records, find out who's voting for what, and go from there. Do your own program. Do your own agenda, and do your own speaking out. And if enough of us do this, there is some saving grace.